Alright, so welcome back, SV2XL here. Now, this video was actually requested by one of you guys. Shout out to David. But for you to understand why I need to sit down here and give an in-depth review about the 17 and 14 Pro, you need to go and watch the video before this, then come back here. Now, if you're someone who's considering getting the 17 Pro today, then you need to either have a 14 or lower. And before we get into the video, I want to make it a tradition to actually give back to this group of people who spend the time to watch these videos, engage, like, subscribe. Every single one of you. Last year we did a whole giveaway, but this year I have just one thing to give back, which is these 14 Pro. This is my 14 Pro. In as much as it would be sad for me to let it go, I would be glad if it was one of you guys I knew won this. So to that one lucky person who is going to win this, good luck. About the span of 2 weeks, I've used both phones. So the 17 was more of a background kind of guy, and this was what I was using as a daily driver. But just splitting both phones equally, you can clearly tell that there has been a change in pattern, in behavior, and generally just your overall usage of the phone. But just to name a few, the first thing is design. I've talked about the design of both phones in a separate video, but these two phones at the time didn't even exist in the same world. But undoubtedly, if I was to choose between the 17 and 14 Pro, I would choose the 17 just because of its smooth edges, and it's just comfortable to hold than stainless steel. Stainless steel isn't bad, it's just sharp. Not sharp enough to hurt you, but sharp enough to know that there is something trying to dig into your fingers or your palms. Although, I believe the 14 Pro is more durable with stainless steel than the 17's titanium, because my oh my, dents would just come out of these things from nowhere. Even though I think stainless steel is more durable than aluminium in the long run, the 17 Pro is just built like a tank. It's bigger. It fits a bigger battery. It leaves room for a vapor chamber. Did I mention a bigger battery? Quickly, it would be unfair to compare a phone from 3 years ago to a phone that just got released 3 months ago. But the question I tend to ask, which I don't see many people asking, is what role does your battery health being at 75% or on service play? The answer is actually quite interesting. But before I tell you why, over the last 2 weeks of testing, even at 75% battery health, I can confidently tell you that this phone will still draw 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. Is that great? Well, that's subject to you and how you use your phone. But we'll talk more on that in the next video when we talk about the iPhone Air. But in a nutshell, if your phone can give you 4 to 5 hours of screen on time in a single charge, then I'm okay. So, does the battery health matter? Of course it does. Think about it. You have a new phone, 100% health, fresh blood flowing through its veins. It's supposed to last longer than a phone from 3 years ago. 17 Pro Max has the biggest battery ever in an iPhone with 5,000 mAh battery. Not to point out that some Android phones have 6,000 to 7,000, but let's give respect to where respect is due. I personally feel again that this is all subject to what you use your phone to do on a regular basis, but with the 17 Pros, you should get about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. But batteries aren't the only thing that makes up a phone. Specs and performance in today's market are being talked about less these days. Phones are already really fast, and that's just because they're as good as they can get, because the bar is already so high that the phones just maintain a steady curve and gradually would drop down a bit but go back and maintain that straight line. You get the point. Using both phones over these few days, I didn't notice any speed drop. Maybe some apps open faster on the 17 Pros, but that's not something that you would notice significantly. The phone might bug out from time to time because it runs iOS 26. That seems more of a software issue than the phone not being able to run the software. In as much as 95% of the vlog was shot with both phones, there is no denying the fact that the 17 Pro just has good cameras. Although in day 2 you could still see bits and pieces where I use the 14 Pro, but you could still get good quality out of it, but that's not beating the 17 Pro in any way. As a matter of fact, the 17 Pro's 48 megapixel camera and the square sensors blows out any Android phone, blows them out to the water. With the 14 Pro, only because I've touched a bunch of stuff with the camera app, I just now natively default to using Instagram as the main camera app, and the pictures are really amazing. I don't need to dwell on the camera for too long, but I'll link both videos in the description. So the little minute things that are not so big in the grand scheme of things. The screen on the 17 Pro is much brighter. if you go outside, you notice this instantly if you hold both phones together. The vapor chamber just makes everything cool, and overall just makes the phone's battery life and the lifespan of the phone last longer. Now, this is not a video telling you to go out and buy the 17 Pro, because undeniably the best iPhone this year is either the Air or the base model 17s. And we can go in depth and talk about all of that, but the next video dropping, which you get to know about if you only subscribed, are the 3 main things that people say are a turn off with the iPhone Air are really not that serious. The 14 Pro is a good phone and the 17 is even much better, but I expect Apple to do something bigger with the Pros next year, and we'll only get to see that with the softwares. So keep your eyes open. So about the giveaway only works if this channel gets to 500 subs before the 23rd of December. One lucky person gets to win this phone. I'm thinking of doing something even bigger, but we'll see if we can get to 500 subs before the 23rd. Big shout out to Daniel for suggesting I do this video. The vlog was something new and a lot to learn along the way with that. But yeah, the best ideas are always in the comments, and you guys are amazing. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. SV2Excel. Peace.